All right, happy Monday, everyone. So this is going to be part 3 of our, you see my cat. This is going to be part 3 of our little training that we learned a couple weekends ago. And this is one of my favorite things that they were talking about that I just connected with, because the person who spoke about the topics that we're going to speak about, his name is Simon Chang. And he just spoke my love language. Like he just everything he was saying, I was just like, yes, I love you. Because he has a rule, no BS. You just get it done, and no BS is his rule. So he's very straightforward, and so I really like that. So I'm actually Julie's gonna kind of lead this meeting a little. She's gonna take off and kind of lead this meeting. But just to give you guys a heads up, we're going to be talking about like what to say to people, what not to say, posture, how to close deals, and so I'm really excited about this one. So, all right, so I'll let Julie take over, and then so whenever you're ready, Julie.
Okay. Yeah, like Amanda said, I really resonated with what he was talking about and just his persona. And I think I've already shared one of his links on the team page. I've been listening to his podcast ever since we left the conference, and he's just so good. And I have so many notes, and I'm sure Amanda wants to interject something. So hopefully we'll cover it all. If not, that will be part 4 because there's so much to talk about. But he's really funny, and he let it off by saying, if you ask 20 random people if they want to earn more money, what would they say? And the answer would be yes. They would probably all say yes. But then when you ask them to join, they say no. So, why is that? And his main philosophy was just that we're not approaching people correctly. And he was trying to drive home that people will buy into you. They don't want to buy your products. They don't want to buy into your opportunity. They want to buy you. So he was talking about those things of posture and being confident. So his 5 tips for posture are that you don't need to, how did he say it? You don't need them. That you don't need them, but they need you. So not having like that desperate attitude and hounding people, acting like you need them. You want to present yourself as if they need you. They need this opportunity, or they need this product. And I think a lot of times we're kind of guilty of that because we want the loyal customers, we want the distributors, and sometimes that comes across as needy. So just having that confidence and, acting like it's not a big deal if they don't want the product or they don't want the opportunity. And I did a video on this last week, you guys, if you didn't catch it. It was actually the day that we got back from the conference, but his number 2 is reject them first before they reject you. So you can find that on my Facebook page. I think the title was like a tip for growing your business or something like that. But basically, like he was saying, take away the opportunity before they have a chance to take it away from you. And the example was for meetings. If you have like an appointment with someone to wrap them or to talk about the opportunity and you're going to meet up with them, his suggestion was to text them or call them the morning of your appointment and say, I forget exactly how he worded it, but say, hey, I'm just, confirming our appointment today, and please, call me or text me back to confirm this. If not, I'm going to cancel the appointment. And I just thought that was like so powerful that, you're basically canceling on them if they're thinking of canceling on you. So unless you hear back from them, you don't go and you don't show up because time is valuable. And it was like the whole essence of making it sound like we're so busy. Even if you're not that busy, like sound like you're busy and you don't have time for this. You don't have time for waiting around for people or being stood up, and just having that authority yourself. Like, I'm busy, I got things to do, don't stand me up. The third one was be confident. He was just talking about like literally your posture. You know, do you talk to people like hunched over, or, you know, do you have your shoulders down and back and kind of your chest out, not in a cocky way, but, you know, just standing as if you're confident about what you're talking about. When we're talking about the products or the opportunity, you know, that energy comes across. And then the fourth one, which I love, is always be in a hurry. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end, but, you know, don't make it seem like you have all the time in the day. Like you have appointments, you have things to do, you've got people to help. And so always be in a hurry. So like I said, we'll touch base on that in a little bit. And then the fifth one, which I also did a video on that you can check out on my Facebook page, is don't talk too much. And so I kind of elaborated on that, but he said, you know, too often, you know, we just start rambling. We start like vomiting all the information we know about all these products and everything about the opportunity. We basically just dump it all on them all in one shot. And then we kind of like lose them. You can see their eyes glazing over and like it's too much for them. And then we're sitting there so excited and we're wondering like why they're, you know, staring at us with a blank face. So less is more, you know, just give them the bare minimum of what they need to know. And then you either try to get their number or you try to get an appointment with them to give them more information later. He also talked about like not approaching everyone in your contact list the same. So, and prejudging people too was another big one. Don't prejudge your prospects because you never know. Like, you know, we talk about this on the family calls the Monday night call. They talk a lot about, you know, just because someone's a lawyer or a doctor or whatever their situation is, you can never prejudge them and think that they don't need this opportunity, or even the products too. But he was mostly talking about the opportunity because you never know what those people's situations are. Like, they might have debt that you don't know about. You know, they might be living outside their means. They might be looking for more time, more freedom. You know, like doctors, for example, have really crazy schedules. So just because you may think someone's well off, don't prejudge them and think that, you know, they wouldn't value this opportunity. The other mistake is that people only talk to their close friends and family, which I can cover in a little bit too. I actually have kind of a separate note that was someone that he had on his podcast this week, and they were talking about cold market prospects. So if we don't get to that, we'll do that another day. And he basically said, do not sell the business like during that first initial time that you talk to them. You always want to like give an invite for more information later. So like a 2-step process, even a 3-step process. And then, like I was saying before, don't approach every prospect the same way. So he broke it down into 3 types of prospects, which I thought was really interesting. He called it an S prospect, which is like someone that would be really established in their career, and you would think they would be like, you know, great financially. So that would again be like businessmen, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, maybe even your boss at your job. The other one is an O prospect, which stands for on the same level. And that would be like an example would be your best friend, your roommate, family. And then a W prospect, so that stands for people that want to be like you, but he put in parentheses that are worse than you. So maybe like in a worse situation, but an example would be like your nephew, your assistant, your secretary, like someone that you think might be worse off than you are. So then in terms of how to approach each one of them, for the S's, he said edify them and directly invite them. Like, these are business people, so you need to be direct, get straight to the point, don't beat around the bush. Like, they're probably extremely busy too, so just a direct approach is best. The O's, I thought this was great. So like your friends, family, people like that, he said ask them for a favor or for their opinion. So like, hey, can you do me a favor? Could you please check this out. Like, this is something new for me and I'd love to get your opinion, something like that. And then the W people, he said, you have to demand them. You have to give them an order. Like, you know, hey, Sally, or hey, buddy, check this out. You have to check this out. Like, you just need to tell them what exactly they need to do and basically like command them to do it.
Hey, Julie, I'm gonna, I'm gonna give an example for can you guys hear me? Or am I muted? Oh, okay. For the things like not to do, so like a lot of times we get so excited, and like Julie said, you know, we don't want to word vomit all over a lot of people. And I know that that's very common when we first start this business. I know I did it so many times. I would send them paragraphs and paragraphs, or as soon as somebody was interested, I'd be like, oh my gosh, yes. And so I would like, you know, be so excited and just jump right on the chance to talk about the business. And so just an example of, they were just, you know, clarifying that successful people are very, very busy people. And so one of the things, so if somebody, you know, you blitz somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I've heard about this business. I actually, you know, I was thinking about making some extra income. You know, it's not at the time and place to be like, oh my gosh, yes, and like tell them all about the business. You actually want to, you know, even though you may have time, you want to, you know, successful people are very busy. And so you want to just say like, you know what, I would love to sit down with you. What's your schedule like tomorrow at noon? And kind of demand like a schedule, like a time. They're obviously interested, and set a scheduled time for them, because you don't want to just sit, you know, on the side of the street or at, you know, wherever you're at in the line at a coffee shop and just tell them all about the business when you can't concentrate. They can't really concentrate. You don't have their full attention. So it's best just to say, hey, what is your schedule like tomorrow at noon? And I would love to sit with you one-on-one and we can go out, you know, talk about the business. And I would love to make sure that this is a great fit for you as well as for me. And just let them know, like, you know, you don't need them for your business, you know, and they need you. And so one of the biggest things, one of the biggest objections that we face in this business is that, is people think, can I really do this? And so for us, you know, if we were just to say, oh yeah, this is what the business says, it does this and this and this and this, you know, they're still going to question, well, can I really do this? Can I go talk to people? Can I blitz people? Can I post on social media? So instead, we want to teach them that they can do this. So we want them, you know, not to buy into this business and to buy into what we do, but really to buy into us and how we actually, you know, run our business and how we talk to people and how we post on social media and, you know, like that kind of stuff. I've actually had people come to me and they're like, there's no way I could do that because I don't want to post, you know, 12 times a day, or I don't want to, you know, my newsfeed to just be all it work stuff. And so at that point, that's when you want to say, you know what, add me on Facebook and you can see exactly how I, you know, work my business. And so that's what I'll try to do. Even if I'm on Instagram, I always like shoot them over to my Facebook, or if I meet them in person, I always shoot them over to my Facebook, because then they can see exactly how I do my business. And then, you know, then they can buy into you. So, so I just wanted to give you a little example on that, because I know it's some of, you know, it's, you know, it's hard for us to think like, oh my gosh, if somebody's interested in the business, why wouldn't we just talk to them right then and there? But you want to have really good posture. You want to be busy. You want to, you know, show them that that you don't need them in your business, because then you're going to have more of an easier time like pulling them in. You know, you don't need them. They need you. So, okay, go ahead, Julie.
No, that's fine. Yeah, and just to kind of elaborate on that, so I was talking about like he had it in like a 2 or 3 step system. So he was saying, like, even if you're at the grocery store and you're not in a hurry and you have all the time, that you just never give them the information right then and there. So, you know, try to set up a time where you can get them more information. So first you want to get their, you know, some kind of contact so that you'll be able to contact them. But then you want to lead them to either like a third-party tool. So either like a short video that you've made that kind of like highlights the opportunity, or get them on like a three-way call, you know, one of our Zooms, something that'll just give them an overview of the information. And then after that, you schedule a follow-up time to like actually talk to them and answer their questions, whether it's on the phone or in person. But you just never like want to spew all the information right then and there. And so back to like being busy. Well, do you want me to go into like the getting the number part, Amanda?
Yeah.
So he had some really interesting tactics, I felt like, on getting people's contact information. And it's all like, it was so eye-opening because it's all in just wording. And I took away so much from it because I'm like, oh my gosh, I do that and I do that. And it's literally like a one-word difference. So again, it goes back to the posture. Instead of saying like, can I have your number? Or can you, you know, add me on Facebook or whatever, you just, you be, you know, like more direct with them. So his example was, what's your number and the best time to get in touch with you? Like if you ask someone like that, they're probably not even going to think twice of being like, I don't want to give you my number. They just kind of answer, you know. Or if you said, what's your email? You know, what's the best email to send you some info? They're going to give it to you. They're not going to be like, I don't want to give out my email. So I thought that was really interesting, just how he did that. And another tactic that he used, like if you know someone lives in your area, like let's say you're talking to a server, you know, that obviously they live there, or your neighbor or something like that, you could always start with, okay, so you're in, you know, Phoenix. So is that a 480 number or a 602? And like start with the area code of where you live. And that's such a nonchalant way of just like getting them to think of like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like finish the number for her because she already knows the beginning. So I thought that was really, really good. So, and another tip about that, like a lot of times, you know, people will ask you for like your website or your card or whatever. Even if you have your business cards with you, he was like, don't give out your business card, because you know that once you do, you never hear from those people again. And then you didn't get their number. So if somebody asks you for your business card, just be like, you know what, I'm sorry, I don't have any with me. I was just out here like shopping today. But then if you have like a pad of paper and a pen in your purse, take that out and be like, well, let me get your info and I'll get in touch with you. So even if you have your business card, like it just never dawned on me that way to not hand out your business card if you have it. If you get their number, you know, first, then you can give them your card if you want to. But I thought that was really, really good. There was something else I was going to say about being busy. Did you have anything to add to that, Amanda? I'm trying to remember what it was about the busy part.
Well, if we're, okay, so when you're talking to somebody and say you hand out a Blitz card, like what Julie said, you know, just like get their information, and you don't have to like, you don't have to be like forceful with it, but just, you know, instead of just being like, oh my, can I get your information? Can I get your number? Or would you like me to get your number? Like Julie said, like, hey, what's your number? And, you know, I'll write it down. What I found that was even, because I do a lot of events and parties and all that kind of stuff. And so, well, more events than parties, but like, what I found that at events, when I'm one-on-one with people, that I have an easier time getting a hold of those people. Like I'll get people's contact information, you know, it's easy to get it, but it's the right contact information. So for instance, if I'm getting a bunch of people at an event and I'm getting their emails and their phone numbers, and I go and follow up with those people, I'm going to have a harder time following up with those people. For some reason, they just don't want to respond if I'm emailing them or texting or calling them. But if I get them on my Facebook, then I feel like I can build that relationship better. I have, you know, I can send them a message, you know, it's just easier for me to communicate with people, unless they don't have Facebook, of course. So when I'm out and about and I'm blitzing, or I'm at an event or a party, you know, if somebody's interested, I just say, so you can always say, you know, what's your number? Or Or, hey, do you have Facebook? So this is just what works best for me. So I'll say, hey, do you have Facebook? And everyone has Facebook. So I'll say, perfect, take out your phone and add me to your Facebook, and I will enter you in for a drawing, or I'll add you, into my network and give you some information, or I'll send you some information. So I'm just very direct about it. But I also, you want to have, like Julie mentioned before, you want to have posture. So you want to be confident about it. You want to, stand up straight, have, be vocal about it, look them in the eye. So you want to make sure that you give off a very positive vibe. And then it won't be weird. But when we're feeling uncomfortable and we're nervous about it, that's when it kind of gets weird between people, and they're like, no, I don't have Facebook, even though they really do. So that's one way to do it because I know a lot of you guys do social media. So that's one way to get their information on to your social media. There was one other thing I was going to say, but I lost my train of thought. So sorry.
There was something else on, again, his podcast this week. He had a guest speaker, but I just picked up one great tip from it that I don't know if I could do it, but it was really, really good. But they were talking about quality leads, versus not so quality leads. And the guy said when he's scheduling appointments or whatever and doing phone calls, he said, okay, I'll call you at, you agree on a certain time or day. Okay, I'll call you tomorrow at 2:00. But then he always says, you know what, do me a favor. If I get your voicemail, will you call me back? Because I only call once. And he said, I'm looking for people that are hungry. And that right there. So then they know, okay, this person is not going to be one of those people that's going to be calling me over and over and over. You're giving them one shot. And if you don't hear back from them, if they send you a voicemail, that was their shot. It just makes people take you more seriously. So I thought that was, I might have to practice on that. That was pretty bold, but I thought it was good. And
I have something to add on that. So when somebody asks you, because I know a lot of times people will say, you're talking about the products, or you're talking about the business, and they'll say okay, let me think about it, or okay, yeah, I'll get back to you. So at that point, instead of just saying yeah, okay, that sounds good, you want to be direct right there. So what I'll do is, and I always have such good response with this, is as soon as somebody says okay, I'll think about it, I'll say, okay, yeah, no problem. What are you hesitant about? And then that opens up a whole new, conversation, because then they'll be like, oh, well, it's money. So then I know, okay, it's money. Or they'll be like, well, I'm just not sure. I'm going to talk, they'll open it up to exactly what it is that's stopping them. And then I feel like I can almost take it and turn it and be okay, and make them feel more confident about either joining or the purchase. So don't be afraid to ask them well, what's stopping you? Or what are you hesitant about? You want to make sure that we are in the control of the conversation, so that, they're not, so you're not just left hanging. You don't ever want just a maybe. We want either a direct no or a direct yes. So, and then the other thing is if somebody's oh yeah, I'll get back to you, instead of saying okay, yeah, that sounds great, say, okay, that sounds perfect. What day are you thinking? What day and time are you thinking? So make sure you're getting, you're direct, and you're getting, answers. And that way, and then when they say, Tuesday, I think, I get paid, or Tuesday, I'll say perfect, I'm going to put you in my calendar, and I'll contact and I'll follow up with you on Tuesday. And then the other thing is, when somebody, like Julie said, if somebody's kind of tagging along and they're okay, I'm going to sign up Friday, I'm going to join your business Friday. And you say, perfect, I'm going to contact you Friday at 12:00. You guys set up a time to contact, and say they don't respond. You don't get a hold of them. They don't join your business. What you'll want to do the next day is message them either that night or the next day soon after. And you can message them and say, hey, Amy, I never got a hold of you yesterday. This might not be this might not be the best time for you to join this business. I work very closely with, my team who comes on board, and I would love to work very closely with you, but it definitely has to be the right timing for both of us. And that almost shocks people. They're whoa, because we're so used to being like, I'm going to get them, and we're going to keep, following up, and hey, are you ready to join the business? Hey, are you ready to join? You want to join today? However it is that we follow up with them, as soon as we kind of turn it around and say, you know what, Amy, I just don't know if this is a great fit for you and I want to make sure that we're not wasting either one of our times. And a couple reasons why that's so good is because, one, it's gonna throw them off, and they're gonna be like, whoa, like, this girl is serious. I don't want to, I do want to join her team. And then the other reason is if she's like, yeah, I'm just really busy. It's, I just don't, and she's making a lot of excuses. You guys, you don't want that kind of person on your team anyways. You don't want to waste your time with those people, because how many times do we sign up these people that we're chasing all the time, and they end up just making excuses the entire time as they're a distributor? Does that happen all the time? No, but it does happen. So majority of the time. So you want to make sure that we're going after quality people, and those quality people are going to be the ones who we're not having to chase. They're going to be the ones who are saying, you know what, I'm going to sign up on Tuesday at 12 o'clock and I'm going to call you. And they call you. So it's not us chasing them. So don't be afraid when you do come across somebody who is hesitant, or they're just, they're a maybe, or you come across somebody who just, they keep dragging you along. Just, be very straight up with them and say, hey, you know what? This might not be a good fit for you or I. So, and then that kind of, it'll let you know if she is going to join, and if she is serious, or if you need to cut your ties. And when I say cut your ties, I don't mean like delete them off of Facebook and, burn bridges or anything. Not at all. You always want to make sure that you are staying in contact, but you don't have to continually ask them, hey, are you ready to join the business? Be in the background, be in the back of their mind, but let them come to you.
Yeah, that's really good. That's kind of what I wanted to add, was just like how we talked about, like quality leads versus not quality leads. And I'll tell you, it's literally taken a huge weight off of my shoulders, because these people stay in the back of our mind that, you're just like, when are they going to join? When are they going to do this? And it's almost agonizing, because it's just like so many people to continually follow up with, that you just feel like they're like dragging you along. And as soon as he started talking about this stuff and just being direct with them, and he actually said, like, those people that do that, like, they're never going to join. And if they do, they're going to do nothing. So, like, it's not a quality person anyway. And when you just kind of look at it that way, it's like, oh, wow, you're right. And that just took so much pressure off of me. So I felt like a weight was lifted when he said that. And I've been really trying to be more direct with any kind of potential that I've been talking to. Even my husband has noticed, and it feels so much easier. It's so much easier to just be direct instead of like beating around the bush all the time with people. And I think, like Amanda said, they actually value you more and like respect you more for being like that, instead of being all wishy-washy like they're probably used to with direct sales people. So
yeah.
The rest of my notes are like kind of his closing techniques. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we talked about that?
Oh, go ahead. Those will be great.
So just again, it was kind of some verbiage that was just a little bit different than maybe what we would be using. But he said, something that you can follow up with is, what can I do to help you get started? So like those leads that you've talked to, you've given them the information, you've like had a one-on-one chat with them, and then, they haven't given you a time or a date. That's a great way to follow up, is just say, what can I do to help you get started? Or also you could say, what do you like best about what you saw? Like if they saw our Zoom presentation, or if we, met them at Starbucks and did our own little presentation for them, what do you like best about what you saw? So you can get some feedback from them instead of just like, does this look good? So asking them those probing questions. And then also, what questions do you have about getting started? Instead of just saying, do you want to join? Like, do you want to join or not? Just say, what questions do you have about getting started? That's always going to be asking someone what questions do they have, regardless, like even if it's a potential loyal customer, I do that all the time as my follow-up question. What question do you have about, such and such product? So that's going to open up the conversation again versus just getting like a yes or a no back. And then I thought this was cute too, but how sometimes it's awkward if you're asking for like their card information. People get a little weird about that, and there might be a couple moments of awkward silence. He was saying like inflect humor in that awkward situation, which I'm not real funny, so that's not super easy for me. But his example was like, "Oh wow, it took you a while to get your card out. Your wallet must be really fat." So, if you're a funny person and you can think of something funny to like break the ice during those few seconds of awkward silence, it makes them feel better. It makes them feel more at ease. So again, he was just a funny guy. So he had his own flair. But a little bit about do you guys have any questions about any of that?
I'll add when you're asking for their card information, because I know a lot of people, especially me, like I probably sign up 99% of my loyal customers. Distributors, I have them, I walk them through on their website. So I'm on the phone with them or, texting them, I'm walking them through. The loyal customers, I always sign up myself. And I know a lot of times people are like, well, I feel awkward like asking for their credit card number. But you're going to make them feel awkward if you feel awkward. So one of the things that I do is I just am very confident about it. And we have to realize that we're selling things. So most people, when they're buying something online or through a person, they're going to give them their credit card information. So you just have to talk confidently. So what I'll do is when somebody's like, okay, perfect, how do I order? I say, great, I can actually get you ordered right now. I just need, and I say your address, email, credit card number, and expiration date. You can call or text me if you prefer. And a lot of times right away, they'll be like, okay, I'll text you or I'll call you. There's only and if somebody is not okay with that, they will let you know. There's only been a few times somebody will say like, you know what, do you have a website I can go to? And then at that point, what I'll do is I say, yeah, of course. Are you by a computer or do you have your phone? I can walk you through it. And then I walk them through exactly how to sign up as a loyal customer. So you guys will, if you guys are not getting their information now, make sure you guys are walking them through it, because it will be so much easier on you and them. First, you'll do that correctly. And second, you guys make sure that your phones are muted. That is. Okay, sorry. So 2 reasons why that will be just so much easier on you is because 1, it's going to get done correctly because you're going to walk them through it or you're doing it yourself. And for 2, it gets done. A lot of times they get busy and they forget or, so if you're walking them through it, if they're on the computer, if you're doing it yourself, then it gets done. So just be confident, you guys, no matter what you're talking about, even if you're not confident, just be confident, because that's going to make all the conversation just go so much better. As soon as you like bring in any kind of like anxiety into the conversation, the other person is going to feel it, even if it's just through a text or a Facebook message or anything. People can feel your words, they can feel your vibe, and so just make sure you're confident. Okay, Julie, sorry I muted you. I didn't mean to. Let me unmute you. Okay, there you go.
Well, it's already almost 10 after, so I don't want to take up a lot of time with this. And I can post this. It's actually an article that I've shared with some of my team, but it was just on like cold market prospecting. And they were just talking about like if you had, if you opened a business parlor, would you a pizza parlor, you wouldn't just invite your friends and family, right? You would like try to invite the whole town. And so it's the same thing with like us just telling our friends and our family about our products and opportunity. Like a lot of people struggle with cold market prospecting, and I just thought it was a really great article on how to view it. And basically like the whole theme was being a professional encourager. And so as network marketers, we are professional encouragers. And so the best way to strike up a conversation with someone, I think sometimes we stand there and we're just like, okay, how can I like tell them about this opportunity, or how can I tell them about this product, when it seems like it doesn't flow in the conversation. But you know, a great way to lead into that is just pay someone a compliment, you know, be an encourager, like tell them something that you like about them or something that you noticed about them, whether it's, wow, you're, you know, a really patient parent, if, you know, you're out somewhere with your kids, or I like your shoes, where'd you get it? You know, any kind of compliment that you see in that person that you could pay to them just to strike up a conversation. And that was really kind of like the whole theme for it. But then they just went into like other ways to like, you know, after that first initial compliment and after the first conversation, like how to transition from there. So it was a good article. I can share it on the page after this.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I have a little note here too. It says, visualize to be the person you want to be. So, and that just kind of goes back to, you know, yourself and your belief and your mind. And so, you know, all this stuff are words that we use, confidence that we, you know, build up throughout this business. You know, that all takes time. When I first started, I did not have the confidence. Like I told you, I threw up on people, and I probably went in the bathroom and threw up in the toilet because I was so nervous talking to people. But, you know, you don't have like, unless you're just amazing at this, and this is natural, you know, this is naturally coming, you know, from you, then this is, you know, which I don't know who joins this business and they're like, I know everything, you know, I can do this so good, watch me. I mean, there are some people, but a lot of times we don't know what we're doing. And so it is very nerve-wracking, but if we can, in our mind, just, you know, fake it until we make it, you know, fake that confidence until you actually gain it and you actually, you know, can just breathe these things coming out. Just, you know, visualize whatever you want. Visualize to be the person you want to be. So, you know, be confident and just tell yourself every day, like, you know, I am this person. I am going to be successful in this business. I am successful in this business. I am, you know, I want to be strong. I am strong. You know, tell yourself and visualize it every single day, and you'll see that things will start falling into place. You'll see that people are going to start attracting themselves to you more, and people will start, you know, people will go off of your vibe. So whatever vibe you're giving, you know, people are going to go off of that. And if you're having a hard time, if you're losing them somehow in the conversation, it's not because they're not interested. It's not because of anything. It's most likely because of the dialogue that you're using and your closing techniques. So really look, you know, if you're saying, okay, you know what, I'm having a really hard time getting distributors. I'm having a really time getting loyal customers. You know, it's not what you're doing. You could be, you know, marketing very well, you know, on Facebook and, you know, blitzing and all that kind of stuff. It could a lot of times be the wording that you're using, the dialogues that you're using. You know, if you're not sounding confident, if you're not sounding like you know what you like, you're confident about like what you can offer them into this business, then you know they're not gonna really jump at the opportunity, because they're gonna be like, well, she doesn't really seem that confident. Like, why would I don't feel comfortable like joining her. You know, so no matter where you are in this business, whether you've been in it for, you know, you just started, or you've been in, you know, this business for a couple years, you know, just be confident and just fake it if you're not. Just pretend.
Well, and you guys, we've told you this before, but even if you're brand new and you don't even have a team underneath you, when someone asks you, if they do, which they probably won't, but like, well, where are you in the company? Always just say, I'm almost diamond. Because they don't know what a diamond is. They don't know what our charts look like. And you are almost diamond. They don't know what steps you need to get to before you get there. But they don't need to know how far away you are from diamond, and they're not going to ask. So like I said, even if you're brand new or you're executive or Ruby or Emerald, you can just be like, I'm almost diamond, and just be excited and confident about it.
Yeah. And if you tell yourself you're almost diamond every day, you guys are going to get so close to getting to diamond, and then you're going to get to diamond. So like Julie said, just give your, like, if you're just like, oh, I just started, and if somebody's like, well, how much money have you made? You know what? You could be like, you know, I'm almost diamond, and diamonds make about $2,000 extra a month, you know, just something like that. The other thing is if you are new and you're like, you know what, I don't have a story to tell. I haven't really made money. I don't really know what to do. Direct them to a sideline sister, your upline, your sponsor, and say, you know what, I would love for you to talk to Julie because she knows this business and she is so good and she is so successful in this business. I would love for you to talk to her because I think that you guys would really connect. And do like a 3-way call or like a meeting or something with your upline, you know, and that way, not only is it going to help bring that, you know, potential to your upline who, you know, they will talk about the business confidently and, you know, and talk, you know, answer questions that you might not know, but also you're going to learn from, you know, his dialogue. You're going to learn from that person, the way they speak, the way that they hold themselves, the way that their posture is. And so, so if you are new, I definitely encourage you to, even if you're not new, you know, if you have a potential and you're like, you know what, I'm having a hard time with this potential, you know, message them and say, hey, Sarah, you know what? I would love for you and I to do a 3-way call with my sponsor. She is just killing this business. And I think that you and her would relate really well. And get them on the phone with them. So, you know, I think that will help too, just, you know, introducing more people. So.
Yeah, I don't know if Brooke is on here. I was looking through right now, but Brooke is really good about that because she's new and she feels like she doesn't know how to like confidently talk about the opportunity like really well quite yet. So what she does is she always schedules a 3-way with me and her potentials, and we have 100% closing rate. But in the process, like Amanda said, she's learning, you know, so she's learning what to say and how to say it. And so that's a really great tip. You guys, if you don't feel like you can say it and like close, then invite even a sideline sister. It doesn't even have to be your upline. If there's a sideline sister, you know, that you really look up to and how they do their business, you know, anyone on it, we're all one team, one mission. So we can help each other out with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Terry, are you still, yeah, Terry's still on here. So Terry, she said, I gave a Blitz card and handed my phone with Facebook open and had them find themselves. So Terry, that is so awesome. That is genius. One thing that I would actually do is I would have them add you. Because sometimes people, if you add them, they don't sometimes always accept it. So, but if you say, hey, so-and-so, my new Blitzer, take out, do you have Facebook? And they say, yes. Perfect. Take out your phone. I'm going to put my name in for you, and then I'll add you to my Facebook. Because so if you add yourself, or if you add yourself to them, then all you have to do is accept it. But sometimes if they enter your or theirs in, sometimes they might not accept it. So I would do it the other way around. But definitely that was awesome getting them on Facebook for sure. All right, does anybody have any questions at all? Now's your guys' time to ask. All right, Julie, do you have anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I already shared that article on the team page.
Oh, perfect. You have such amazing advice. I love it.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, all you beautiful ladies.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And if you guys have any questions, then you guys can message us or ask on the team page or something. So.